Hi everybody, how's it going out there? Welcome back to Stumpy Grump's Scale Speed Shop. I want to start off by saying thank you to everybody out there for all of your condolences and your kind words and good words. It really meant a lot to me. This is a modeling community, is a great community, a lot of good people out there, and you guys certainly showed that, at least to me, in this situation. So once again, really want to say thank you. Much appreciated. The ankle is not bothering me as much as I thought it would being back here, so I actually was able to get some progress done on the Revell 1969 Camaro Z28 RS. Unfortunately, I had started this one about a week before the USACC, Unified Scale Automotive Content Creators group build kit, was announced, and I had already done way too much, and no way I could have included this in the build off or in the group build. It does run into March, mid-March, March 15th, so I do have another kit. This kit, I have another one. Ideas in my head already. I'll get to it, just not right away, maybe in like November or so. I want to get a couple other kits done before then, but I do plan on joining that one. I'm just not going to be able to do it with this one. But I made some progress on it this week, so let me get to that in just a second. Alrighty, so we'll start with the chassis here. I got a little bit of suspension on in the front here. Needed to do that to get my wheels and tires set so I can paint the rest of those. The fuel lines and the brake lines here, I picked those out with a silver Sharpie and then retouched them up with some flat black paint that blended in with the primer. I still have to paint the gas tank, but that's where that sits right now real quick. While I have this, I'm going to go over how I got the suspension, how I got this ready for the oversized wheels and tires from Jay's Resin wheels. What I did was, this piece right here has a circular part on it, right there. What I did, I chopped off the end here that goes into the wheel back, the pin that goes into the wheel back, the kit wheel back. I chopped that off, and then I chopped around that round part to just leave this trapezoidal looking thing. Okay. And then what I did was, where I cut off the pin was flat. Oh, I also had to grind a little bit of it off for the wheel to fit in too. So I ground a little bit of it off, and I just use my sprue cutters there to chop all around it. And then I drilled a hole big enough for my homemade pin, wheel pin, to go in. Okay, I did not raise it or lower it, left it completely as kitted, the ride height, and it looks perfect. Okay, so that's how I did that. Fairly easy. Same thing really for the rear end. I put the rear end and axle on with the leaf springs here, and I measured everything out, and I ended up snipping off right even here with this shock mount piece on the leaf springs on both sides. And once again, I drilled a hole the size of my homemade wheel pin for the rear wheels too, and it fits as kitted. It sits right in, and the ride height once again looks pretty perfect. So fairly simple to do. I did it without much problem, so that tells you how simple it really is. But that's how I got the suspension and everything ready for these wheels and tires. speaking of the wheels and tires, Jay's Resin wheels. These are excellent wheels. I've gotten quite a few sets from him now, and they are all excellent. So I painted everything in black, and then I used a kind of a crude circular mask and just put it over the rest of the wheel and airbrushed Molitor chrome. Airbrushed the Molitor chrome. I mixed it with some isopropyl alcohol, and it helped it dry faster. It dries a lot faster that way. Sprays just as good. So those are all ready to go. I added, I don't know if you can see, but I got these valve stumps from Iceman Collections. Instead of making my wire valve stumps, I just used those. So those look pretty good, as much as you can see them. Nice looking stuff on all the wheels and tires. There's the other one on the bottom there. So these are all set to go. I all measured up so I could paint the chrome on there, so I didn't have to handle them too much. And they're glued in and all ready to go. To the engine, the Iceman Collections. You guys are all familiar with him, I'm sure. Iceman Collections. Custom LSX engine is all ready. I went ahead and used the valve cover look with the LSX 454. I just brush painted Molitor chrome on that. Added the plug wires. I used the kit oil filter and starter, but I did use a Iceman Collections fuel pump, so I had to add that. And you get the belt material with the engine kit, so very, very nice. Excellent with the headers and the transmission. So good looking engine, all set, all ready to go. I have the air element, the air filter, all done as well. Now to the interior. I just used Cratex opaque black for the interior. I did use embossing powder. You can barely see it in there, but I did use the embossing powder. And the inserts, I just brush painted in a flat black, matte black craft paint. I used a MCV products. I used MCV products on this as well. I used a shifter and a steering wheel from him. Excellent stuff. Bought 4-pack steering wheels, very nice price. The shifter's actually from a 17-pack of shifters for a really nice price too. I'll put a link in the description for his website. You guys should check it out. It's a really, really good website. It's got a lot of great stuff. And then I did use wire for the door locks and brush painted those in Molitor chrome. And I added a strip of bare metal foil on that interior trim piece there. So that's about it on the interior. Use kit decals for the center console gauges there. If you can see them, there you go. Kit decals. And I just hand painted the gauges in there. Can't really see them, but that's the interior. Pretty much where I'm at right now. I've got everything kind of ready to go. Close it in on final assembly here. Let me grab the body real quick again. And one thing I did do, the car I'm modeling this after had blue lights for the lights here, so I tried to copy those, and I think I did a pretty good job. I like them. I like the way it looks against the solid black car. So pretty cool. So just got still a little bit of work to do yet, but I'm in the finishing stages. I'm in the final assembly stages here. One other thing I'm gonna have to do is pretty sure I'm gonna have to make a drive shaft, and I have a bunch of U-joints from Iceman Collections as well here. So I'll be using that with probably some aluminum tubing to make my drive shaft. But anything else that comes along as I'm finishing things up and doing final assembly, oh, and I have to do the exhaust. I have mufflers. Once again, also from MCV Products. I have mufflers ready to go. I just have to make the exhaust, use some tubing or whatever to make the exhaust. So I'll show you that maybe in the next update, but I got to get, once again, I got to get a couple more things painted and a couple things assembled, and then we will be putting this together. All right, so really liking how this is going and how it's going to translate into my USACC build when I get to that, maybe in November. So really getting excited about that. But that's going to do it. Thanks for watching Stumpy Grump Scale Speed Shop, and I'll see you at the next video.